morning, Lady Wild families. Hope all of you got to sleep in a little bit more than we did. We had a 5:30 a.m. wake-up call this morning. But the girls seem ready to go, so I'm excited. No complaints. Looks like kicking us off this morning, we've got Caroline taking the face-off with Bree and Margot and Lennon and Gwen on defense. We also have Stella in net. Shout out to the Reeds watching this from their couch this morning. Hi, Finley and Ellie. All right, Kansas City's going to take possession of this face-off. They kick it up through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone. Shot on goal, caught by Stella. Quick shot this morning from number 91 on Kansas City. Lady Wild's going to keep the same crew on the ice. Caroline taking the face-off. Caroline working to get that up into the neutral zone. She gets it up, almost hits Bree. Coming back through the neutral zone, Kansas City brings it into our offensive zone. Tries the center, but no one's there. Caroline picks it up behind the net. She's going to carry it. She tries to pass it up to Bree. Bree's going to get that through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Kansas City picks it up behind the net. Good shot, a little wide. We're trying to get it centered here. Battle behind the net. Margot's working hard back there. Kansas City comes away with it. Lennon's able to keep that in. And Lady Wild kick it back down deep. Kansas City brings it up the boards. And they're able to get it to the neutral zone. Lady Wild trying to change it up a little. Kansas City bringing it into our defensive zone. Lennon's going to pick it up, carry it through. She gets picked off in the neutral zone, and we're going to end up with an offsides. Good job by Lennon. Good push. Lady Wild's going to have a line change. We've got Riley, Lara taking the face off, and Penny, and then Beckett and Ruby on defense. This comes back to Ruby, who kicks it into our offensive zone. Kansas City trying to work it up the boards with some pressure from the Lady Wild. Riley's going to get this in the corner. She tries to center but hits a Kansas City player. They get past Ruby. Kansas City battling behind the net, kick it around. Penny's able to pick that up. We're going to get called on a penalty hook on Beckett. Face-off is going to be taken by Caroline with Bree and with Margot, and then Lennon and Ruby on defense for this penalty kill. Margot's going to go pick this up in the near corner. Tries to send it up, just can't get a hold of the full thing. Kansas City picks it up along the blue line with pressure from Caroline. Lennon's going to pick that up in the far corner, try to send it up the boards, and she's able to, and Lady Wild are able to get it out. Caroline's going to carry it with Margot going with her. Little pressure from the Kansas City team. They pick it up in the corner. Kansas City pulls it behind the net and up the far boards, but Lennon is able to get a hold of it to keep it in. Kansas City's going to pull it through the neutral zone. Caroline giving a lot of pressure. Ruby's able to kick that out, and we're back through the neutral zone. There's 33 seconds left on the penalty kill. Kansas City's going to bring it up through. Good job by Lennon, get her stick on that shot. Kansas City's gonna try to take another shot wide. Laura's gonna pick that up. And we're back in the neutral zone. Kicked back in by Kansas City. Ruby's giving pressure, gets it back into the neutral zone. Ruby kicks it back up through the neutral zone where Kansas City picks it up again. They send it across the ice. Caroline's gonna pick this up. Tries to send it to Bree, but runs into a Kansas City player. Bree's able to get that up to Caroline, who takes the shot, and that's a score for Caroline. Great teamwork on this penalty kill. We're at full strength. I think we were for the last 10 seconds or so of that, but that was great work there. So we're at 1-0 Lady Wild. Taking the face-off is Penny with Gabby and Riley, and then Gwen and Beckett on defense. Gwen kicks that up through the neutral zone, and it's going to get picked up by Kansas City. But good pressure by the Lady Wild. We're able to keep it in. Kansas City's going to bring it around their net. They send it. Oh, they're going to carry it through the middle. Gwen's going to chase through. We get a shot. And a great stop by Stella. All right, out for the Lady Wild, Caroline, Margot, and Bree, and Gwen and Lennon on defense. Caroline wins that face-off to Margot. We get it through the neutral zone. Caroline's going to pick it up. And that's going to be an offside. She just gets stalled a little right on the line there. That's all right. Good work by the Lady Wild, keeping it moving. And we're going to keep the same group out on the ice. Caroline's going to take the face off. Kansas City picks this up, sends it across the ice. They send it through the neutral zone. Good pressure by Margot there. Lennon's going to pick this up in our defensive zone. She's going to try to skate it up, and she does get it into the neutral zone. Lady Wild continue to battle along the boards there. We get it through neutral ice. Kansas City kicks it back in. Got a little ping pong back and forth in the neutral zone. Kansas City's able to get it. They get a shot wide on the net there. Lennon's going to pick it up, bring it up the boards. Ooh, she has a great pass, just can't quite connect to Laura there, but we get it through neutral ice and into our offensive zone. Caroline's going to pick it up, take it behind the net, try to center it, gets it centered. Oh, so close. Kansas City is able to try to kick that out, and that's going to be an offsides. All right, we've got Ruby and Beckett out there with Laura, Gabby, and Riley. That gets kicked deep into our offensive zone. In the near corner here, Kansas City tries to send it up the boards. Ruby gets a hold of it, sends it back deep. That gets kicked out hard past Ruby, but she's able to pick it up, chip it up the boards. Kansas City picks it up in the neutral zone. Picked off by Gabby. We've got Beckett in the neutral zone. Gets chipped up by a Kansas City player, but we're gonna have a battle along the boards. Ruby chips it up the boards into the neutral zone where Kansas City picks it up and tries to regroup. And they do, they bring it in. They get past Ruby. Good pass by Kansas City there on the far side of the net, and they get to kick that in. So it's 1-1 Kansas City and Lady Wild. Tough pass there. All right, out there for the Lady Wild, we've got Caroline, Margot, and Bree, and then Lennon and Gwen on defense. We've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left of this first period. Great carry in by Caroline there. Gets it knocked away, but picked up by Lady Wild. Tries to center, no one's there. Lennon's gonna hustle over here to keep this in. She chips it down deep into the far corner. Caroline, great centering pass, just can't quite connect with Margot, but Gwen's able to try to keep this in. It gets chipped up the boards here. Gwen does a good job holding the line. Kansas City picks it up behind the net. Tries to send it up the boards. Picked up by Gwen. Gwen's battling to try to keep it in. Caroline with an excellent hold at the blue line there, but picked up by Kansas City. Good stick by Bree to knock that away from a Kansas City player. They try to center it, but run into Bree's scoop. Another centering pass from Kansas City, kicked out by Lennon. Kansas City sends it behind the net. It's going to get picked up by Lennon. She carries it up the boards, runs into some pressure, but Bree's able to kick it out to the neutral zone. Kansas City picks it back up, sends it deep into our defensive zone. Going to get picked up by Gwen. Sends it up the boards to Caroline. Caroline's going to pick it up, carry it through. She gets around a couple. Backhanded shot on goal, blocked by I think Caroline got a little rattled there, but she's up and she's going to take a shot again, and that's a score. Beautiful shot over the stick side of the goalie there, top shelf. (2-1) Lady Wild with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left of the first period. Out on the ice, we have Penny, Riley, and Gabby, Ruby, and Beckett on defense. Penny's going to take the face-off. Won by Kansas City. They try to kick it up forward. This is going to get picked up by Ruby, who chips it up the boards. She's going to hit Penny. Penny hits it deep into our offensive zone. Kansas City tries to chip it up the boards. They send it across the ice. Beckett's going to get there first to pick it up. She hits it deep into our offensive zone. Kansas City's going to pick it up in the near corner here. A little battle with Penny and Riley. Penny loses an edge. Riley comes away with it, tries to center it. Gets picked up behind the net by Kansas City. Kansas City hits one of their players in the neutral zone. Good pressure by the Lady Wild there. Is going to get picked up by Beckett, who tries to send it behind the net, but it has a bad bounce there and just kind of bounces right up to the net there. Stella makes a good stop. 1 minute and 59 seconds left. of the first period. Caroline, Bree and Margot, Lennon and Gwen on defense. Caroline's going to take the face off. It's kicked by Kansas City into the near corner here. They pass it up to their defense. Slap shot from the Kansas City player. Runs into some Lady Wild skates. So Bree's going to carry that up through the neutral zone. It's going to be an offsides by the Lady Wild. But good work by Bree carrying that through. Lady Wild going to keep the same group out on the ice. Caroline kicks it into the offensive zone. Still battle along the boards. Caroline chips it deeper into the far corner. Kansas City rims it around. It's going to get picked up by Gwen, who sends it towards the net. Runs into a few players, but Lady Wild is able to come away with it. Caroline takes a tough shot. I think that was Caroline that hit that in for a Hattie. Caroline's on fire this morning with a hat trick in the first period. 3-1 Lady Wild. Laura's going to take the face off here with Riley and Gabby, and Beckett and Ruby on defense. Caroline picks it up. They're going to... Kansas City picked it up. I think I said Caroline. I don't know. We're in the neutral zone. Beckett's going to kick it back out to the neutral zone. Kansas City has to regroup. They send it across the ice. And across the ice again. Defense is going to try to take a shot, blocked by Lara. Lara's in a foot race. Kansas City just beats her there. They send it, Kansas City sends it across the neutral zone. They run into Ruby. Kansas City's able to pick it up. Good stop by Stella there. Oh my God, okay. Kansas City's able to kick it out of harm's way. Another slapper by the Kansas City team at the blue line. It gets kicked through the neutral zone and into our offensive zone where they try to send it up the boards. Ruby picks it up there, is waiting, kicks it back in. Offsides. Caroline's going to take the face off. She's got Margot and Bree out there with her. And that's the end of the first period. We're going to end the period 3-1, Lady Wild. Welcome back to the second period of this early morning game against Kansas City. We've got Caroline taking the face-off with Bree and Margot, and Gwen and Lennon on defense. Kansas City is going to bring that into our defensive zone, but kicked back out to the neutral zone by Lennon. Kansas City regroups and have to regroup again. Caroline giving a lot of pressure here. Picked up by Kansas City. And they get it deep down into our defensive zone. We're in the far corner here. Bunch of Lady Wild bodies. Kicks back into the neutral zone. Bree's got a good chase, but I don't think she's gonna make it in time. Oh, no icing. She tries to center. Great centering pass, but just can't quite connect. Margot hits that around the net here. Bree sends it back around the net. Caroline's working hard back there as well. Bree's gonna try to give some pressure here in the near corner. Caroline gets in the way of that. Pile behind the net. Kansas City picks it up. Good pressure by Caroline. Kansas City's gonna pick it up. She's got some speed, but a lot of pressure by the Lady Wild players. We're in the near corner here. Rimmed around to, looks like Penny's out there now. She's trying to get it out. Kicked back in by Kansas City. Ruby hits that up the boards. Good block by Stella there. Caroline comes away with it. She's gonna skate it up the middle. She's working hard, runs into a Kansas City player. This comes back into our zone. Ruby's working hard to try to get it out. There, she finally is able to knock it into the neutral zone. Kansas City picks it up, carries it in. Stopped by Lennon. Runs into one of the Kansas City skates there. Caroline's gonna pick it up, try to chip it out. Lots of Kansas City players there as well. Ruby's going to pick this up behind the net. She rims it up to Penny. Gets just past Penny, but Caroline's able to pick it up in the neutral zone. Kansas City's got it now skating through the neutral zone. Beckett's giving some pressure. We're here along Kansas City picks it up in the near corner. A battle with some Lady Wild players down there. They send it towards the net, knocked out of the way by Ruby. She carries it behind the net, chips it up to Gabby. Gabby's gonna carry it through the neutral zone. Great job by Gabby. She gets it down and she chips it down deep behind the net. Kansas City is trying to come up the boards with it. They go across ice where Beckett's gonna beat there. Beckett is able to chip that back in. Kansas City chips it back out, and we're in the neutral zone. Kansas City's going to take this around our net. Looks like we have a delayed penalty. They carry. Kansas City is carrying it through. We've got a penalty on somebody. Beckett for slashing, I believe, is that call? And we're gonna go on a penalty kill. We've got Ruby and Lennon on defense, and Margot and Bree on offense. Margot's gonna take the face off. Kansas City picks it up in the neutral zone. Margot giving some pressure. Lennon's gonna pick this up in our defensive zone and hit it up. Oh, she's gonna try to carry it through the neutral zone here. Kansas City picks it up. Ruby's back there. backhands it back into the neutral zone where Kansas City's going to have to regroup. But Bree's doing a great job working through there. Oops. Kansas City kicks it back. We're just going to battle in the neutral zone for a little bit. Oh, we have a delayed penalty on Kansas City, I believe. Yep, penalty on Kansas City. That was a little scary for a second. I thought they were going to put Bree in with her. Okay, and we're going to skate 4-on-4 for 51 seconds. Out there on the ice, we've got Lennon and Ruby on defense and Laura and Caroline on offense. Caroline's going to take the face-off in our offensive zone. Kansas City chips that up to Lennon. Lennon sends it towards the net. Kansas City chips it down to the near corner. Laura battling hard there. Kansas City's going to carry this through the neutral zone. This is a little scary. Ruby's going to give her some pressure. They send it, try to center, but they can't connect. Kansas City sends it out to their defense. They send a hard shot to the net, caught by Stella like it was no problem at all. Cool as a cucumber down there, Stella. Lady Wild switch up their offense. We are full strength also, so we've got, no, we're not, I lied, we're not full strength. 19 seconds, so we've got Margot and Bree still, Ruby and Lennon. Good pressure by Margot there. They send it towards the net. Ruby gets her stick on it and Stella gets her glove on it, so good teamwork there. Here we go again. 10 seconds left before we're full strength. Great job by Margot, but gets hit up to Kansas City. Now we're in the far corner. Ruby hits it up the boards a little, but runs into a Kansas City player. Ruby gave a little shove there. That was not picked up by the ref. A little battle along the near boards here. Good job by Lennon, working hard. And now Margot working up to Bree, who's going to carry it up the boards. We are going to work through the neutral zone. Kansas City chips it back. Oh, no. Ooh, good centering pass to Bree. Can't quite get control of it. Kansas City tries to pick it up in the neutral zone, but Caroline takes it away, and she's going to come back around. Lady Wild at full strength. Great job by Caroline getting a shot on net there, stopped by the Kansas City goalie. Yet another really great penalty kill by the Lady Wild. All right, out on the ice, we've got Lennon and Gwen on defense. Penny is going to take the face-off with Riley and Gabby. We've got 5 minutes and 55 seconds left of the second period. Lady Wild 3, Kansas City 1. Penny's going to take the face-off at some point if this guy stops picking on where they're standing. All right, Penny wins that over to Gabby, who gets a shot, runs into some skates. Kansas City picks it up behind the net. They chip it up, but Lennon's going to be there, sends it back deep. Penny's going to give some pressure behind the net. Riley's going to pick it up in the... Ooh, great centering pass to Gabby. Ooh, Gabby just can't quite get a hold of it. Kansas City's going to carry it through the neutral zone. Good pressure by Gwen and Lennon. Gwen picks it up behind the net, chips it up, but nobody's there. Gwen picks it up behind the net, sends it around to Gabby. Gabby's carrying it up. Lennon's going to pick this up in the neutral zone. She's got some speed and a little bit of room. Kind of runs into some Kansas City players, but also a couple of our Lady Wild players. We get a shot on goal. Good stop by the Kansas City goalie. We got a little ringer for Kansas City with a great shot, but Stella is able to stand tall. No problem for her. Caroline is going to take the face off. We've got Margot and Bree out there, and Ruby and Beckett on defense. Attempted slapper by the Kansas City defenseman. Another shot by the Kansas City team. Beckett's going to pick this up in the near corner, tries to send it up. Kansas City sends it across the ice. Ruby's in a foot race with the Kansas City players. She gets there first. Kicks it up to Caroline. She's going to carry it through the center of the ice. She tries to pass to Bree, but there was a miscommunication there. Kansas City's going to work behind the net with Caroline. They're going to carry it into the neutral zone. Good pressure by Bree. Caroline's working on the near boards there in the neutral zone. Kansas City comes away with it, but Beckett's going to pick this up. She's going to carry it through the neutral zone, and she pushes it into our offensive zone. Margot sends it down deep, but picked off by a Kansas City player. She's got a lot of speed. Good stop by Stella, and then kicked out of the way by Ruby there. She sends it up the boards, but no Lady Wild players there. But Margot's able to get there, picks it up, carries it into the neutral zone, picked off by Kansas City, but Kansas City comes in offsides. We have Lennon and Ruby out on defense with Lara taking the face-off with Riley and Gabby. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left of this second period. That's picked up by Lennon. She's going to bring it into the neutral zone. Picked off by Kansas City, but picked back up by Lennon, who runs into Lara, but is able to keep control. Lady Wild need to regroup. Lennon sends it in. Great work by, I think that was Riley, getting it down into the great centering pass by Gabby. Can't quite connect with Riley, but gets a little slow roller towards the net. All right, out for the Lady Wild now. We've got Penny, Caroline, and Bree. Caroline's going to take the face-off. On defense, Margot and Gwen. Kicked back to Gwen, who sends it deep into the corner, but it's picked off by a Kansas City player who sends it into the neutral zone. There's a battle. Kansas City picks it up. It's going to carry it through. Some pressure from Margot. And good pressure by Caroline there. Picks it up behind the net. She's going to carry it through. She's got some room. She kind of runs into a Kansas City player. Kansas City's going to try to bring it up through the neutral zone. Picked off by Gwen. Penny loses an edge there going for the puck, but she's able to get to it. Tries to center. No one's home. Kansas City's going to pick this up. Send it up the boards, but runs into Caroline. Caroline's going to get a shot. Almost goes in. Kansas City sends it up the boards, but Margot's there. She tries to hold the line, but we send it in offsides. Out for the Lady Wild, Lara's going to take the face-off with Gabby and Riley. Ruby and Lennon on defense. Kansas City's going to pick this up. Send it into the neutral zone. Ruby gets her stick on that, but there's another Kansas City player. Sorry, everybody. Forgot to turn the camera while I was watching. Okay, Laura's going to take the face off with Riley and Gabby, and still Lennon and Ruby on defense. Kansas City picks it up. And we're in the neutral zone. Riley's trying to work there. I think Gabby does a good job. Almost gets it out of the neutral zone. Kansas City. Ruby working along the blue line there, offsides. Out on defense is Margot and Gwen. Caroline's going to take the face off with Bree and Penny. Caroline's working along the boards. She kicks it out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Kansas City, who sends it back into our defensive zone. This is going to be a slashing call on Margot. Not sure that's true, but didn't look good. And we are back on a penalty kill. Bree and Caroline and Lennon and Gwen. Kansas City's gonna pick this up. Lose an edge. Bree picks it up. She loses an edge. Kansas City's gonna get picked up for tripping. All right, out on offense, we've got Caroline and Bree on this penalty kill. Well, we're 4-4 for the next minute and 19 seconds. Caroline and Bree and Lennon and Ruby. Ruby's able to hold the line there. Sends it towards the net, backhand. Has to be stopped by the goalie. Face off by Caroline. She wins it kind of to herself, sends it back to Lennon. Lennon sends it back deep into the near corner. Around the net, picked up by Kansas City, pushes it around the net. Ruby's able to hold the line there, sends it back deep into the corner, and that's the end of the period. There's 51 seconds left of Margot's penalty and 1 minute, 3 seconds left of the Kansas City penalty. All right, let's kick off the third period. Caroline's gonna take the face off with Bree, and we have Ruby and Beckett on defense. Ruby's gonna pick this up. She sends it up the boards and into the offensive zone. Caroline gives some pressure. Ruby has to try to hold the line here and does. That was really close. And we're gonna face off again. 38 seconds left of Margot's penalty, 50 of Kansas City. Caroline wins that over. Bree's able to pick it up. Kansas City gets it out to the neutral zone. A lot of pressure by the Lady Wild. Bree runs into a couple Kansas City players. Ruby hits that into the far corner. We're having a little battle in the neutral zone. Kansas City comes away with it. Ruby's able to get her stick on that, send it into the far corner. Beckett carries it around the net, chips it up to Caroline. Picked off by a Kansas City player. They get that towards Stella, but she blocks it over. Picked up behind Caroline. She's going to carry it around the net. Caroline's going to take it through the neutral zone. She gets around everybody. She's going to have a free shot. Oh, good shot, goes just above the net there. Beckett holds the line. Picked up by Caroline. Sends it towards the net again. And we get that centered, but just can't get anyone to get their stick on it. Kansas City brings it around the boards up towards the line. Held by Beckett briefly, but kicked back out. Ruby's going to pick it up. She's going to carry it and chip it deep into the corner. Kansas City picks it up behind the net. We're going to have a penalty. Caroline's going to the box for tripping. Lady Wild going on a penalty kill. Laura and Penny on offense, and Lennon and Gwen on defense. 9 minutes, 47 seconds left of the third period, and yeah, that's it. Lennon gets her stick on that to slow it down, covered by Stella. Kansas City's going to take a slapper. Ooh, just missed, but gets a second chance at it. Lennon works that up the far boards. Kicked back down deep by the Kansas City. Lennon working hard there. Kansas City picks it up behind the net, tries to center it. Does get a hold of someone, but they run into a bunch of Lady Wild players. Gwen's going to carry this up, pass it over to Laura in the neutral zone. Picked up by Kansas City, but with pressure from Laura there. Kansas City picks it up again in the neutral zone. She's going to skate it through. Tries to take a shot. Gwen eats that. And then sends it up the boards to Penny. Penny's trying to work it up. Gets picked off by a Kansas City player. Kansas City tries to center, but nobody's over there. It's going to get picked up by Lennon. Overskates it just a little bit. Gets a holds of it. Sends it into the neutral zone. Kansas City's going to pick this up. Lennon 2-on-1 there. They send a shot. Glove saved by Stella. We're gonna take a face-off in our defensive zone. 12 seconds left of Caroline's penalty. We have Ruby and Beckett out there with Margot and Bree. Bree wins that forward, gets picked up by a Kansas City player, but they send one. Couple good saves there by Stella. Outs Caroline, and she picks it up, chips it up the boards. Margot's able to pick it up. She's gonna get a shot, just wide. Beckett's racing up there to try to hold the line, and she does. Caroline's gonna be able to pick this up, take a shot, blocked by the goalie. We are in the near corner here. Bree's working hard to center it, runs into a Kansas City player, but we're behind the net. Margot sends it back deep into the corner. Kansas City player tries to pick it up, but pressure from Bree. She takes it away. Bree tries to center it, runs into a goalie pad. Goalie covers. And we have a whistle. Seven minutes and 32 seconds left of this period. Lara over to Riley. Riley tried to center but ran into some Kansas City skates. Somehow we're in a pile by the net there. Kansas City sends it up, tries to get it out. We've got a fast break here. Ruby gets her stick on it. Oh, she's gonna get called for tripping. I think they're going to give this Kansas City team a penalty shot. I'm not sure. Yep. Kansas City's going to get a penalty shot. It has to be Ruby that they called that on, but they haven't said anything. All right, penalty shot for Kansas City. And Kansas City's coach is getting a little cranky. Here we go. Great job by Stella. Hit her in the pad and then got the post. All right, well, that was exciting. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left of the third period. Caroline takes that face off. We've got Bree and Margot out there, Ruby and Beckett on defense. A little battle right along the blue line there, chipped up to Caroline. Caroline's gonna carry it through. Picked up by Kansas City, but they can't get a hold of it. Bree kind of holds it. Ooh, Margot sends a hard shot. Caroline picks it up. They run into a couple Lady Wild players. Another shot covered by Stella. All right, Penny gonna take the face off Riley and Gabby, and Lennon and Gwen on defense. Slapper by the Kansas City team. Picked up by Gwen and sent up the boards. Defense gonna pick it up again. Another slapper. Well, we're gonna give her another. All right, we're able to push it across the ice. Picked up by Kansas City. Good battle by Gabby and Penny there. It comes out to Lennon, who's able to get it up into neutral zone. Kansas City skates it through. Shot on goal. Great save by Stella yet again. Kansas City tries to center, but Gabby gets her stick in the way. 5 minutes and 26 seconds left of this period. It's kind of a battle there. Riley is able to push it out, but picked up by another Kansas City player. They send it towards the net, stopped by Lennon's stick. Send it towards the net again, blocked by Stella. Kansas City's gonna pick it up behind the net. Ooh, good centering pass by Kansas City, but they couldn't get a hold of it. Another shot, blocked by Stella. Penny tries to get it out, but stopped by the defense. D-to-D pass from Kansas City, a shot wide of the net, picked up by Lennon in the far corner. Jordan would like them to ice this, so we need a line change. Another block by Stella, covered by Stella. Excellent job by Stella, blocked like 5 shots during that. All right, out for the Lady Wild, Bree, Margot, and Caroline, and Ruby and Beckett on defense. Beckett picks this up, is gonna try to chip it up the boards. Gets stopped by Kansas City, and they try to send it back. I think they ran into Caroline there. Beckett and Caroline working. We get it out to the neutral zone. Offsides. Yeah, offsides. Keeping the same line out there. Caroline taking the face-off with Margot and Bree, and Ruby and Beckett on defense. Lady Wild working into our offensive zone, but picked up by Kansas City. Beckett tries to hold the line, just barely pops out, and she sends it in for an offsides. Three minutes and 49 seconds left. Caroline's gonna take the face off, wins it over to Margot, who gets it into the zone, trying to hold the line. Just past the line. Offsides, Lady Wild. We're gonna do a line change for the defense. Gwen and Lennon come out. Caroline's gonna take the face off again. Bree's able to send that deep into the far corner. Bree tries to send one backhand, goes wide. Kansas City is going to pick it up. They're going to carry it through the neutral zone. She sends it back to her D. She's getting a lot of pressure by Caroline. Kansas City gets a shot wide. Kansas City out to D again. Slapper blocked by Bree. Margot's going to pick this up. Picked off by a Kansas City player, and then we go in offsides. Out for the Lady Wild, Laura's going to take the face-off with Gabby and Riley, and Ruby and Beckett on defense. Laura wins that back. Ruby sends it into the zone. They send it back out. We're in the neutral zone. A lot of pressure by Riley. Good job by Laura. Riley sends that towards the net, where the goalie pushes it off to the far corner. Kansas City is going to bring it up through the neutral zone. Shot on goal. Blocked by Stella and then covered. This little 91 for Kansas City can really skate. Out for Lady Wild, Caroline's going to take the face-off with Margot and Bree, and Lennon and Gwen on defense. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left of this period. Looks like the Lady Wild have tried to go to some shorter shifts in this last few minutes. Gwen chips that up the boards, hits a Kansas City player. That's blocked by Bree. Kansas City tries to center it. Caroline's going to come away with it, try to skate it through the neutral zone. She sends it up to Bree. We run into some skates, run into a Kansas City player, picks it up. Lennon gets her stick on that. Picked up, going to be carried behind the net by Caroline. She runs into a Kansas City player. They send it across the net. No one's able to pick it up. Margot battling in the near corner. Margot's able to get this away from the player. She carries it out through the neutral zone and is able to get it into our offensive zone. Ooh, there's an open net. Kansas City brings it into the offensive zone. Blocked by Stella. Lennon tries to send it up. Oh. Gwen got her stick on that. It just changed the puck direction enough that squeaks by Stella. That's all right. We have 37 seconds left of this period. Timeout by Kansas City. All right, out for the Lady Wild, Caroline, Bree, Margot on offense, and Lennon and Ruby on defense. Kicks back to Lennon. Lennon sends it back into the neutral zone. Margot tries to get it up through. Caroline's going to carry it around the net. She sends it up the boards. Bree tries to pick it up, but Caroline picks it up. She gets it through the neutral zone. We've got 14 seconds left. Caroline's trying to get it towards the net. Oh, so close. Battle. Margot's going to take a shot wide, and that's the end of the game. Good job by the Lady Wild to hold off. Lady Wild win 3-2.